So what you have all just done is you put together what is strength and conditioning is all about. You have core components, you have a support component, which is going to be used for recovery. You're going to develop, so that's your purpose. And then with that, you have an outcome. So this is basically what is strength conditioning is all about. Of course, each part of it, how we're going to put them together, that's a challenge. We always have spaces, athletes and coaches. Okay? Good. So, build an athlete. If I were to ask you what are the 5 qualities, okay, and you think the most important to build an athlete, what would that be from this list? Your own, huh? You can decide on your own. What are the 5 qualities? Don't worry about the slides, guys. Watch out the slides. Even on deck, so learn. Okay, so I believe each and every one of you would have chose 5 different things. Okay, am I right? Am I wrong? No. No right or wrong. Because you choose the 5 qualities because you think that is important for my athletes. Okay? So with that, what we will do, we want to design a champion. What do we need? We'll use different training methods, interval training, repetition training, intensive, extensive, and so on and so forth. These are the methods we use to develop the quality. Okay? And of course, we'll also use recovery methods to help in the adaptation. That will help the athlete to improve. So, training methods plus recovery will lead to improvement of physical and technical qualities. Okay, we'll talk about this in deeper sense, what's physical and what's technical. And then that will lead to better performance. So your job as coaches is to create a system that's going to help you. That's what is strength and conditioning is all about. Okay? So always remember, we build an athlete first. Then we transform him or her into a champion. So the athlete building part will be important, not the champion part. Okay, that's the foundation of our strength and conditioning for athletics. Okay? Later on, this is where you guys will be kind of guided, at least I hope, to put into what we call a year training plan. It might be a lot of info here, no worries. My job is to ensure we break it down in smaller parts. Okay, so in the end, you should be able to put them together, all the different exercises, strength and conditioning exercises, together to set up your own, what we call, year training plan. My year training plan is slightly different from what you have seen. I don't put in the extra stuff. I focus on what me as a coach requires to understand. Okay? Okay, so in that aspect, we'll be doing this step by step. First part, we'll identify what we call a target adaptation. Target adaptation could be physical development, could be technical development, or it can be a mixture of both. We call it hybrid. Both is needed. Then we'll identify what's the core qualities, speed, strength, and all that. Then this will be the crunch of our learning, the exercise category. Okay, we will talk in depth about this GPE, SPE, SDE, and CE. These are our small terms. And what exercise forms can we use? That will be the first part. Hopefully, in the second part, we teach you how to put them into your per week cycle. How many units can I do? And then the most important one, how to adjust our training through volume, intensity, and count. Got it? So that's basically my introduction to speed and conditioning. Basic introduction. Any questions? Or have I messed up your mind already? Any questions?
No more in our
Thinking and strength. Then afternoon, we'll go into more related matters, core strength and speed strength. Speed strength, we'll talk about more about plyometrics. And then we'll talk about lift strength. Okay, anything that we are lifting. Okay, so I cannot put specifically max strength or that. Anything, whenever we lift in the gym, we're going to show that. And then group work, core strength and plyometrics focus. So you guys will come up with the idea. Day 3, same thing, you guys will demonstrate. Okay, and then followed by some endurance activity. Was come back, we do a bit of theory, and then afternoon, this period will be covering on team roles and responsibility, how to work within your circle of support staff or members, and then we go into the planning part. So day 3, after 2 o'clock, we are actually talking about planning all the way to day 4 as well. So this will be pretty much a lot of hands-on from you. Okay? That will be the flow. So I'll share this timetable in our WhatsApp group. Okay?
plan design motorcycle. करते हैं ट्रेनिंग प्लान डिजाइन मोटरसाइकिल ट्रेनिंग प्लान डिजाइन प्रिपरेशन
Next topic is the grades values. What is the next topic? Now when we start with the training plan, the first thing is to establish your athletes. तो डिस्कस यहाँ पर हम अपने उसका कुछ इश्यूज भी है उनको भी साथ साथ में डिस्कस करते हैं और कुछ कोचेज जहाँ बैठे हैं फास्ट टाइम में कई बार आते इश्यूज जब आपके साथ कुछ कोच आपको strength and conditioning coach, or you are being a coach, you yourself is working as a strength and conditioning. But when you are working at a lead or you are more on top athletes and you bring in strength and conditioning coach helps it. But we will also discuss. In this course, actually, already you are certified coaches. Almost everybody has done level 1 or level 2, or some of you are level 3 coaches also. Okay, so you know the long-term development program. We have already studied in the level 1. After level 1 में long-term development इसमें कहाँ से start होता है? Number 1 is capability. Okay, then
event group development.
So for this course, we basically will be focusing related to the data training. That means most of the fields, the program or the majority that will be related to the this is developing age when the athlete is growing, it is junior. So after we ज़्यादा not all but mostly जो आपने आप टॉपिक होंगे वो जो हमारे यंग एथलीट है जूनियर so this will be all area. Okay, so first of all, as establishing basic requirements of that would be what I am doing and why I am. If you have designed any program, training program, you have designed any exercise, basic to important changes, what I am doing, strength training, exercise. Then second thing is why you have done. If you have the answer, then everything is clear. Okay. So, okay. So first of all, who am I coaching? सबसे पहले वही चीज करते हैं किसको हमारा नीड क्या है? We are coaching. our grade is your grades, level of performance, age, okay, and male or female training, all these things. Who am I coaching? So second thing is how I am coaching. Why am I coaching? Okay, so कैसे क्या हमारा प्लान होगा कैसे कोचिंग करेंगे. The third thing is what am I coaching? The point is what am I coaching? So from here, what I exercise, what exercise or the methodology I am using, why I am using. And the next thing is why am I coaching this? और ये मैं coaching कैसे करूँ? These are the questions you ask yourself. ये क्वेश्चन है इसमें हम ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम को हम बना लेते हैं. मोस्टली क्या होता है मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी आल्सो ओके. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम देयर आर सम थिंग्स व्हिच इन्फ्लुएंस our past experience as a lead also, our beliefs also, understanding of self or some of these values and behavior that also affects some training. So being a coach. So the thing is, why am I coaching this? Very important. क्या मेरा पुराना विश्वास है जो मैं मेरे कोच ने करवाया क्या उसको मैं चेंज करना चाहता हूँ कहीं चेंज करने की जरूरत है. Because lot of moves such as are related with training theory or some other part of sports training science is emerging. बहुत से इंफॉर्मेशन आते हैं जो हम आज से 20 साल पहले करते थे. हमारा कोचिंग क्यों अपने आप से सेल्फ क्वेश्चन होना जरूरी है. मेरा बीफ तो नहीं है. कई बार कोचिंग इंट्यूशन से भी करवाता है. मैंने कई बार तो दिया करवाने से ही होगा कुछ साइंटिफिक बेस है कि नहीं या उसको ट्राई किया कितनी. नाउ देयर आर सेंसिटिव यू हैव ऑलरेडी नोन दिस स्टूडेंट लेवल. आपका लेवल ऑफ उसमें याद होगा विंडोज सेंसिटिव. सो these are the three properties. This is very important. The golden age of learning and basic form of movement. The technique, movement learning, coordination general, and the growth is 1 to 3 centimeters per year. But when you are treated as poverty, male or female, there is a growth spurt. आपने लेवल में खड़ा हुआ जब right walk, fast, here, and it is nearly 6 to 10 centimeters away. That's the coordination fast. Then comes the adolescence period. That is the period where we find out youth and age, 17, 18, 19, 15, 16. So second golden these are the two phases. The first is recovery, the second is adolescence. Right. So during this year, it is basic form of movement, the fine form of practice, where we learn the actual movement. By that time, your need chooses the whether आपका great jump करेगा, javelin कर रहा है, hurdles कर रहा है, long distance कर रहा है, those point पर event finalize हो चुका होता है. So the coordination, there is general coordination, there is block related coordination.
Okay, block related coordination means when we move to event specific or event group development, we don't just do straight away one event. We don't just do jumps, we don't just do sprint, long jump, high jump, pole vault, or even triple jump. We also want to find another support. So most of the time we look at sprints, hurdles, and jumps. This will become a core block. From there, you can have add-ons, extras. So if you're going to be a jump potential, so it's a jump block. That means out of these three, you'll have a high jump. So we'll always, for simplicity, for speed or for sprints, we do 60 meters, 80-meter hurdle, long jump as a foundation. And if it's going to be a potential jumper, I might add a high jump or triple jump as a build up. For coordination of throwing, I might add a javelin or ball throw, we call it. So this becomes like a block. Because you also want them not to specialize too early, you still want to give them a lot of body awareness, strength, using the three, run, jump, throw. So in our track and field, if we implement run, jump, throw effectively, you will have the best conditioning technique ever. That's why multi-event athletes are much more well coordinated and more stronger compared to our event specific or event specialized. So we will always believe that this block preparation is something that's missing. Later I'll show you a template, okay, where you can mix and match for yourself. Okay, so that way you can build this block relation.
Thank you. So you will benefit from the with this course, especially related to the speed and coordination. Okay, so this is the related with actually already you have covered in the regarding the golden age that windows of opportunity call that because when you train during that period, अगर आप poverty या pre-poverty या उसका nonsense है, if your trade is trained properly according to this system, then your trade is likely to achieve his or her potential. At least genetically, जो उसके अंदर potential है, breed का whether your breed is bred or अगर उस breed को स्टेज पर proper इस system से training दिया तो वो अपनी maximum जो उसकी physical capacity है in lifetime your breed will achieve. There are many breeds who have the genetic potential to achieve a high level of performance in the long race, but उनका पहला initial phase ऐसा होता है कि उसमें earlier phase they don't get the opportunity to be trained like this, so they find it difficult to reach that potential. हमारे बहुत से एथलीट हमने आपने भी एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा कि वो इवन कॉम्प्लेक्स में बैठ नहीं सकते, उनको बाई बर्थ नहीं रिक्वायर्ड, लेकिन हमने जरूर देखा होगा बट ड्यूरिंग दिस गोल्डन एज अगर उनको प्रॉपरली ट्रेनिंग नहीं मिली जैसा ये सिस्टम से मिलना चाहिए तो उनके लिए पहुँचना मुश्किल हो. So this is very important. That's why this is the golden age of life. Pre-poverty जब बच्चा अभी poverty में नहीं हो, childhood में और वो especially after the poverty. During the poverty also this is important. It is mentioned here, but that is very sensitive phase because the body is growing at a faster rate. So every 6 months you see if our child is growing at a rate of 10 centimeters say 1 year. 5 centimeters in 6 months, every month the body is changing. So the brain is getting new experience. Right को समझ लो ना कि एक बच्चा जो पॉवर्टी में बहुत फास्ट ग्रो कर रहा है, आप उसको कुछ लर्न कर रहे हो, उसकी बॉडी सेगमेंट्स का साइज चेंज हो रहा है, साइज कीप ऑन चेंजिंग. So naturally your athlete is getting new experience every 2-3 months. So your athlete will find it difficult, especially with the coordination of speed. आपने देखा होगा जब बच्चे ग्रोथ फास्ट हो गए coordination speed बहुत हो जाता है. So, but we have to train accordingly that period. Then this nonsense that is the way that we do. So the global objective of the preparative phase of training is to establish the physiological, psychological and technical adaptations necessary for competitive success. So हमारे जो preparative phase का मैंने long distance running, for sprints, for jumps, for throws. So the main objective is physiological, psychological and technical adaptation. So adaptation actually leads to the higher performance. तो हम super compensation do that to all units की बात करते हैं. We give the stress or the load, training load that leads to fatigue and leads to new adaptation and difficult adaptation. Load that leads to improvement in the performance. So basic जो preparatory period है उसमें ये जो चीज़ें हम then important guidance the key focus of physical. हमारे इसमें काफ़ी confusion रहता है कि स्टैंड एंड फिनिशिंग वाला क्या करेगा, वो क्या करेगा, जहाँ तक दोनों सोचो. So I think this is fine because we have to draw some line of responsibility. So now there is one that is actually functional. और ये पार्ट को हम थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिकली सोचते हैं. We are not mentioned. So athlete functionality is one part. And event specific demand. So there should be a balanced distribution of training. No part basically. One is athlete functional ability. Functional ability means the normal and related fitness also. All the 5 fitness components, they are balanced with your athlete. And for this, what we sometimes take the help of physio also. Mainly physio, if you have the physio. So for MSK testing, what you find from the MSK testing? आप ऐसे कितने कोचेस हैं जिन्होंने अपने एथलीट्स को ऐसे फिजियो से MSK टेस्टिंग screening ऐसा तो ये फैसिलिटी हर एक जगह अवेलेबल है बट एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू वेल जो तो आपका क्या
मेरे लिए आई ओपनिंग जैसा मतलब चीज़ें थी. एक लड़का मेरे पास रजत है तो हमारा उसका जैसे हम एसिमेट्री की बात करते हैं कि आपका वो है तो उसका 28% के आसपास डिफरेंस था टेकअप ब्लड की हेमस्ट्रिंग में और नॉन टेकअप ब्लड की हेमस्ट्रिंग में. वो हमारा MSK टेस्टिंग से हमको फाइंड आउट हुआ. उसके बाद फिर मैंने फिजियो के साथ डिस्कस किया, वो चीज़ हमने करके ओवरकम करके अभी वो चीज़ ठीक कर दी. ये एक एग्जाम्पल है.
कि किसी की जैसे बॉडी स्टिफनेस है या टाइटनेस है, हैमस्ट्रिंग है, जैसे हडल्स को मैं डील कर रहा हूँ तो हडल्स के जो की इंजरी फैक्टर्स है कौन कौन से हो सकते हैं, उसके ऊपर लोड है नहीं है तो वो चीज़ आइडेंटिफाई हो जाती है, तो प्रिवेंशन हो जाता है इंजरी से बहुत अच्छे से.
other muscles are okay. How you come to know which muscle is strong, which is weak? They are very small. They are group of muscles are energetic muscles. And if you are throwing or you are doing some movement, there are lot of muscles which are responsible for movement around your shoulder. एक muscle will be there that will cause some imbalance in the strength or in the range also. ये चीज़ें कैसे पता चलेगी? आपको हेल्प टू लेना पड़ेगा. दूसरा फॉर्चुनेटली अभी अगर कंपेयर करें 20 साल पीछे से अब इंडिया में अवेलेबल फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट काफ़ी आपको फंक्शनल एबिलिटी. Okay, this is just one example. We will show you some practical slides also later on, including the obstacle and other parts of your cardiovascular system and your mobility, flexibility. That is your function. So again, coming to the main point, we have to establish athlete profile. The athlete profile है वो पहले establish करना जरूरी है. So the skill conditioning. Skill conditioning, event demand. So event demand, the pyramid will be covering with the next part. So event की demand क्या है? What is the performance model of the performance structure of the javelin throw की level of shot. Long jump की difference है, different है, so the event demand. Then and it's appropriate support required. That will find the load structure, neurological, metabolic, and mental. And the physical conditioning, physical strength and weakness in preparation for performance that we just discussed, and strength, stability, weakness, stability, structural, neurological, metabolic, and mental. And we have to find the strength, strong points of the feet and weakness, the same. So we start and keep on doing whatever we are doing. these are the component of fitness development for so the information, the basic range focus on vacuum, coordination skill, coordinated skill, balance, reaction, rhythm, orientation, differentiation, adaptation, conversion, concentration. So when we say coordination, there are at least 6 types of coordination abilities or some abilities. Actually, I think in the next session we can elaborate more. So balance, reaction, rhythmic, orientation, differentiation. So very important in especially field events, differentiation. And basic training focus on developing basic read skills. These are the skill related mental technical fitness. And strengths for strengths run and for downs, goals, and so on. Basic training to focus on the read technique and energy system. Health related emotional fitness, basic training to focus on developing cerebral body fitness, or cardiovascular fitness, muscle fitness, flexibility, mobility, coordination, and self-confidence. So we will share this. There's a lot of data in this, and
Yes.
so understanding the 5 key health related fitness components. Fitness के 5 components cardiovascular endurance, that enable sustained effort. Muscular strength drives maximum performance. Muscular endurance, rapid muscular endurance is the strength ability and cardiovascular fitness. Even the throws, even the short put, they need some a certain level of cardiovascular fitness. ऐसा नहीं है कि जब हम endurance की बात करते हैं तो ये रनिंग बड़े लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस के लिए जरूरी है, but we say below the max even we normal person required a certain level of fitness or cardiovascular fitness for the work. Similarly, so we know that short putter, this is example comparison between short putter and marathon runner in the level 1 slide. So marathon runner needs a lot of endurance, less strength, but he needs strength. Similarly, a short putter needs very high level of strength, but a short putter also needs a little endurance also. It helps in recovering from sets to set, from session to session. अगर हमारे वेट की एरोबिक फिटनेस है वो भी अच्छी नहीं है तो वो एक वीकली प्रोग्राम में पूरा टोटल वॉल्यूम में ट्रेनिंग वो नहीं ले सकते. उसकी जो रिकवरी रेट है उसको अफेक्ट करें. देयर आर सम अदर इफेक्ट्स आल्सो. सो वी नीड एजुकेटेड फिटनेस प्रोग्राम. सो देन फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, इंक्रीज range of motion, body composition optimizes performance. So cardiovascular endurance. So just mentioned cardiovascular endurance is your body ability to keep up with the exercise and also your cardiovascular system to work for extended periods of time. And it is different for different events. So what level of fitness is required. So sustained performance, improve oxygen delivery. जो भी मैंने बात कही है कि मैंने एग्जांपल लिया है शॉर्ट पटर को भी चाहिए तो इम्प्रूव ऑक्सीजन डिलीवरी आपको इतना जल्दी रिकवर होगा उतना ज़्यादा आप कैन यू एथलीट हैज मोर एबिलिटी टू टेक बेटर गोल्स एंड हेल्थ एबिलिटी टू हैंडल हायर इंटेंसिव लॉन्गर बेटर. जस्ट मेंशन दिस पॉइंट कि आपको जब ज़्यादा इंटेंसिटी यूज चाहिए करने के लिए need that level of muscular strength. Muscular strength is defined as the maximum level of muscle or muscle can build in a single effort. enhance performance in all the events, increase motor support, joint stability. अभी जैसे एग्जाम्पल दिया, one is functional, one is skill related fitness, one is the strength. मैंने बोली बात की soleus muscle is the calf region. It is mainly used during the walk. I think if I am not wrong, soleus muscle is having more loss सबसे स्लो और हम सोचेंगे कि जब सबसे स्लो हो तो एक्सप्लोसिव है कैसे काम आएगा, बट इट इज द फंक्शनल स्टेबिलिटी. उसमें जस्ट एक आपको एग्जांपल बताइए, मैनी मोर एग्जांपल, ईच एग्रीड हैज इट्स ओन रिक्वायरमेंट्स, जॉब्स, ट्रेनिंग करोगे अलग अलग चीजें मिलेंगी, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. तो एग्रीड आइदर हाई फोर्सेस विदाउट सस्टेनिंग एनीथिंग. यहाँ पर ये किस तरह को चाहिए तो ये तो फंक्शनल स्टेबिलिटी. So this is this picture gives the head perfect example. This functional definition of kinetic issues by training. You see on the left side, well, the left person who is holding the tree and that is your tendon. And the second one is your muscle. Third is your जो आपको animal दिख रहा है. If you have a balanced connective tissue, so there is no great force you can apply for. But if your functional fitness is not good, then this will not. It can lead to pain. Okay? So any questions related to if you have because so the school endurance is the ability of the muscle to perform repeated contraction for extended period of time without carrying. Sometimes we call it local student movement. So आप कोई movement कर रहे हो, so for an extended period of time, sustain low physical activity, reduce fatigue when you have a good muscular endurance, and enhance the overall endurance performance, ability to handle greater consistency in training and competition leading to better results. So every event because every event has its own structure, own profile that the next class session we are going to discuss. Okay. So like if you also, and especially combined events or even especially the football, the competition like when a thrower starts warming up for the first toss, positive level of your muscular endurance. So flexibility is the ability to move right through your full range of motion, and ability to move and flexible movements is essential for sports performance, enhance technique and movement economy, reduce muscle stiffness and injury, enhance overall performance without taking risk, allows greater range of motion and better joint articulation or performance. तो मैं आपको बात की है ना कि एक एग्जांपल दे imbalance है, and imbalance can be in the flexibility range also. We will try to do some practical experience also. So if there is a problem with the range of motion, even it can cause instability in the joint, especially joints like hip joint or shoulder joint, most common where this is the myoflex as we have seen. Myoflex is related to the joint action. So especially joint attachments, that is tendon mainly. So that is also important. Body composition, the proportion of day body mass and fat mass, optimal power to weight ratio. This is important to every straight jumps पे तो बहुत important है, but it is also so equally important in those also. there is clear evidence when usually those are having more fat, especially short. But when they reduce fat, there is a clear visible increase in the performance. As a also example, like in the 2024, I will give you an example from Sharper. In 2024, there is both are compressive for the Sharper from the team. He was very much favored. He even written the world power here. They have user from USA and Joe Kovacs, they are favored. So he was doing very well. But unfortunately, he was there. He somehow he lost the final. Could not produce this because it rained. It started raining just after first book that day stopped. Was some of them. So that is another reason. But all you go, maybe very good training system that we do. But he lost to 60 kg weight. That is purely fat acting. So he mentioned that he is from Italy and he never tasted pizza for 2 years. Strict on strict diet. So the performance improvement was clearly evident. So body composition is very important. Sometimes you need more muscle mass. So optimal power to weight ratio and better duress capacity. अगर फैट ज़्यादा मैं रनिंग करता वेट बढ़ाऊँ तो रनिंग में वेट जैकेट पहन के दौड़ने वाली बात है कैरिंग 10 kg of extra fat I'm willing but carrying 10 kg of weight jacket which is not helping it. So that's the overall energy efficiency. Appropriate nutrition intake supports both health balance and focus. So these are the suggestions for water development. The coffee I think you will share with
Based activity. You have to move up the slide. You can see chronological age. Female 6 to 8, male 6 to 9. In this group, okay, you come down all the way. These are all the different biological rigors. And what kind of activities can I do for them? Yeah. In this area. These are low resistance required because they are more neurologically adaptation. Remember windows of opportunities in our theory? Windows of opportunity.
Yes.
In the early age, when the athletes are growing, they are more like a sponge. What sponge? Put on water, it moves up. So they are like a sponge. You need to give a lot of multilateral, multi-sensory movements. That's why you can see a lot of coordination abilities, agility, balance, muscle, and all that is done. As they move, as they get better, stronger, you now start introducing the different form of activity. Okay, that's where you start seeing that you're introducing a little bit of strength coming in. Plyometrics from a rope, skipping form. Muscular using own body weights. So all these are trying to introduce a little bit of own awareness of the body. Then as you move further, you start seeing the hormone start producing the body. Neurological, muscular tendons, adaptations. You can start introducing them. Why? The body is now maturing already. What are the two things we look for in maturity? And then things growing. One is peak height, velocity. Another one is peak weight velocity. Two things will take place. Peak height, how structurally my body is growing. Weight, not only muscles but organisms, your connecting tissues. All this will start getting stronger. So that's why some of the activities you don't introduce too early. Because they're not ready to, I'll call it, endure or absorb. That's why we move some of the trainings later, post-puberty. When they start achieving, the growth spurts become small, lesser and lesser. That's why we start introducing the strength activities. Okay, so this was an article. Notice I'll share with you the article details. This is where it gives a clear indication of how we can orientate our strength program for the different age groups.
So low mean low and high means before puberty and after puberty.
Yes, so low resistance, skill competence, very low, because this one, to do this, you don't need very high skills. Because it's still an activity to do, you still need to know how to do it. So it's a very low skill resistance training competence.
So before peak height, we can give this type of exercise.
Yes. So these are why we talk about, remember, coordination, balance, all these are very general activity for them to do. This one slide alone, I can talk for one day because of the importance behind. But we will try to miss it. Height, you do a seated height and then your difference between total height versus your seated height.
Okay.
You know the difference.
So balance training is same. But you see in the plyometrics, during the childhood, plyometric training as a part of deliberate play. Examples are rope skipping. That is very low impact, but that is the learning of correct mechanics. Interesting, right? Much interesting. तो इस जो एक बच्चे छोटे हैं अभी चाइल्डहुड में है कबड्डी में इंटरव्यू है तो प्लायोमेट्रिक ट्रेनिंग वहाँ भी है बट वहाँ पर करेक्ट मैकेनिक्स उनका लैंडिंग बहुत छोटी छोटी जो बच्चे प्लेफुल एक्टिविटीज however उसी में क्या है if we come with the same plyometric training that comes for low drop heights now we can increase but still in a very controlled manner then we go to the curtain. 18 plus plyometric training that comes from moderate drop heights. Still, okay. Then the post strength training is already there. Then coming to the free weight training. This is very common question. Coaches and the parents ask when to start the weight training. You see here, free weight training with a focus on exercise training. You can teach them the exercise, even the snatch also just by variating. That will improve the coordination also and learning the correct technique. So, but again, it is on the road and having instead training but still focusing on hypertrophy, that means it is more over focusing on the conditioning level training, not the specific early specialization that normally that is happening. When we enter it is heavy resistance training of muscle fibers targeting that is important. So this is the basic science of interpretation. So coordination, energy. So energy dynamics, operation oriented coordination and endurance, strength, speed, coordination, and flexibility, passive system coordination also. So endurance, aerobic then anaerobic endurance, that is a combination of endurance and strength and of course speed also. Then strength endurance, combination of strength and endurance. Maximum strength will be ability to produce highest level of on repetition maximum. Speed strength, combination reaction speed. Okay. So speed and its coordination. So there is different combinations. So action speed and coordination, time pressure, because time pressure is very important part when it goes back to this. Okay, so this was just orientation of the as we
Nice. It is not cast in stone. I mean, it's not a, I must do 80 meters. When I do 80 meters, what am I, which quality am I developing?
Speed endurance.
Speed. Okay, speed, endurance, speed, okay?
Yes.
Family, speed, family. 60-meter hurdle, what coordination? What am I developing? Okay, so it's long jump,
Explosive.
explosive strength, good, high jump.
Vertical.
One is horizontal, one is vertical. When I use ball throw, what am I developing?
Upper body flex.
Upper body coordinated throw. So I want to look at it from that aspect, not from, oh, he must run 800 meters at the age of 12. He has run 2,000 meters at the age of, no. I'm developing the quality. I'm only using this as a tool to develop it or to orientate my program. So you must look it from the quality that you want to develop, not the event specifics. So speed, coordination, jumping power, okay, explosive strength, and endurance. That's it. These are things that I'm trying to develop for a kid. I'm not using anything. Probably I'm using a medicine control. It's an explosive movement. Because you want to generate, remember we talked about neural adaptation earlier? Remember that slide? You see, we start, why is it supposed to be? It's all about neural adaptation. You want to create a fast movement for the kid. I'm not going to give them big balls. Maybe even a volleyball might be good enough. Basketball. And then I have to move to medicine. You see? So I can vary the equipment based on the quality I want to develop. Okay? Again? So I want to look from that lens. Very important. Okay? So this is what we mean about block. Block means sprints and jumps in their block. Sprint speeds, the entire sprints and hurdles as well. Minimum distance, and then throws. What similarity do you see in all these three blocks? What is the one similarity? Speed and? No, what similarity? What is the one similarity? Oh, something very similar in these three events. What do you see? There's 100 meters, 100 meters, 100 meters, 80 meters, 80 meters, 60 meters, 60 meters, long jump, long jump, long jump. And then after that, it changes. High jump, ring throw, ball throw 2000 meters, shot put, discus. So there's always the core coordination, okay, for speed relation and explosiveness. And then I'm introducing other parts. So even if I use shot put and discus, shot put can be for more. What can we use it for? What kind of throw is it? What direction the throw is that? Linear throw or rotational throw? Okay, rotational, but I do what discus ready, right? So discus can do for me the rotational aspect of it. Shot put can be more for the linear aspect. So that's how we can always use for this age group. Okay, remember shot put. This is very useful for starting strength. Where can I bring it together? Which of the events? Block starts. Because you're starting explosive field. Remember in IWF, in our level 1, we talk about the relationship of different events. You want to do that here. This is what we call the whole coordinated strength development. How coordinated the strength is, the better output will be for further development as they get older, more into event group specialization and specialization. Okay?
JP is javelin throw.
That's Yeah, so we kind of introduce javelin throw, but even javelin throw, we have those modified javelins. Remember the turbos and all that. So again, I want you to take it from how can I reduce the equipment, the size of the equipment to teach the skill. Skill development is the ultimate at this age. Me, I'm trying to, as a coach, my aim is to size it down. You all play volleyball, right? Volleyball? Ball comes, 14, 15 year old. How many of them are very comfortable hitting the ball? You don't. So what we do? We play with Swiss ball. You know Swiss ball? Big one? Very big time. For physical preparation, conditioning, you will have two exercises. General preparatory exercise, specific preparatory exercise. Okay, when exercise basically is the grouping. Okay, exercise GPE is a group of exercises. Okay, we're going to have 4 of it. I'm covering 2 now, later I'll cover another 2 more. So for you guys, you should understand when you find an exercise, when you see an activity, a drill, you should be able to tell me which group they belong to. Based on the exercise develops, improve general physical ability, which builds physical coordination and base for speed and power. Specific is develop event-related muscles and force pattern. And then strength with coordinated speed. So this develops event-related strength and coordinated force. This is for physical conditioning. Okay? So I want to put it up here now. So later on, you'll be seeing this throughout this course. For me, it's very important you know how to classify your exercise. That would be very important for us, because then you will know which exercise goes where during your annual training plan. Got it? Okay? Okay, we have spoken about a little bit of physical conditioning. Now we're moving into event-specific demand. So which means to improve an event, we need to condition it. The skills has to be conditioned now. Because I really have done a bit of knowing what to do, now I want to do it better. So the objective is to make it better. So, same word, the word we are now looking for, all the training we're going to do right now, you're only chasing one thing, adaptation. What kind of adaptation do I want? Is this exercise going to give me this specific adaptation? Why? When the body adapts, it becomes stronger. It becomes faster. Which means it can give me a better output. So that's how your training should be when you're talking about all these different aspects of exercise you're bringing in. Okay, so we covered this already. So in event-specific demand, there's 2 parts. One, of course, I do skill acquisition. This is what is your technical models. Remember your technical progressions. You break down the skills to teach athletes step by step. Step 1 to step 6 in our level 1. Okay, so this is your skill acquisition. Okay? Then you go into what we call skill conditioning. Now that I already have done and gotten this skill set, I want to make it better. And that's why I need to condition it. This will become what we call your event-specific demand. So event-specific demand have 2 parts. Without this input, this doesn't give you result for a very long time. When the technique is lousy, no matter how much condition you put in, the athlete might progress, but to a certain level. And after that, either he injures or he cannot move forward. Because the technique is not mastered to the highest level. So that's why you as coaches have to have a very clear understanding how your technique should be. And then how am I conditioning it gradually to solidify the mastery of a new technique. Okay, we covered this. So here is predominantly what you're looking for. In any load we put, there's 4 parts to it. We have learned it in level 1. Structural, metabolic, neuromuscular and mental. So for us, we will not cover mental in our program here. We'll talk more about the other 3. Okay, because mental ability is another program, and probably my 4 days here, I might not be able to squeeze everything in. Okay, so mental will not cover much, but we will talk from a interaction perspective. Okay, and of course, we always finding the balance in our program. I'm always moving between these 2. I find my weaknesses, I try to change the weakness, improve the weakness, strengthen the strength, and then I transfer it to the event specific demand. I'm always coming back because I only 1 year to finish this. I might need a couple of years. So you have to plan, review, restart. Plan, review, restart. So that you're always closing the gap. So that it's not too wide. Okay, this we have covered. Okay, just to give you an idea, we know that in conditioning there is 2 parts to it. Okay, so today we'll just focus on strength and speed. Okay, to help you understand. So within strength and speed, you can see the linkage we have between action speed, speed strength, maximum strength, and all that. So these are the smaller combinations. So we won't build one alone. We always will be matching them. Speed with strength, speed with endurance, speed with coordination. You realize speed is only one, it is the family of 2, both as an energy source and as a information. So later on when we do the coordination, I'll explain that. So this is where our grouping comes. Remember the first 2 we mentioned earlier? Now for skill conditioning or event specific conditioning, we have another 2 more groupings. Specific development exercise. This one is very closely resembled to our competition movement, but we do it in short parts. Okay, which part I want to improve? Later I'll show you what part it means. Okay, and then to improve that particular speed, power, or coordination. The last one, competition exercise. This one is actually the competition itself. I'm doing 60 meters. I'm doing 60-meter hurdles. Then I'm going for my 100 meters. So different events, but pretty much maintenance. So 4 different categories of exercises. So we talk about phases now to understand. So I'm trying to make a little bit of what I call principles of movement. So you know that if you take the discus throw, you have preparation, momentum building, delivery, and recovery. That's the phase you do. The moment when the athlete starts, okay, and then the moment he finishes, they go through these phases. This is what we call the preparation phase, the main phase, and the final phase. Okay, they're broken up into different parts. And we have to understand that because this movement, there will be a lot of what we call movement principles. Okay, what happens? Initially, there's the principle of initial strength. Then you have what we call principle of optimal acceleration path. Then you move once the speed, the body from 0, start accelerating, is generating speed already, you need to continue. So you reach into what we call optimal impulse causing momentum, followed by short stretch shortening cycle, more reactive. And then there's 2 outcomes to it. Maybe it's going to be a sprint, middle distance running event. The objective is to conserve this momentum as long as possible. But if it comes to jumps and throws, you're looking at how they can stop and accelerate, or accelerate and block. Then it's transferred. So there's always a starting principle of how your body should move. Start gradually inputting momentum in it, getting more powerful, and then it transfers or it is released to us as coaches in our program. So we have for jumps, approach, takeoff, flight, landing. So I have the 4 phases. So in terms of specific conditioning, I'm going to I need to do speed, I need to do strength, I need to do endurance, I need to do flexibility. So for each phase, because of the principle I showed earlier, my strength activities or my conditioning activities will vary. So for speed, I need to focus on acceleration and maximum speed to be developed so that I can later on convert it to optimal rhythm. Strength, starting strength, maximum strength and reactive strength. Endurance and flexibility is done based on the event speed. So each part will have a certain focus. Because of that, the speed requirements will be different. And this is what I call your adaptation you're looking for. Different adaptations. So when you go back in your program, and the athlete doesn't perform well, you will know exactly which part is missing. So each of your sport, each of your event, you should be able to draw something like that as a background check for you to help you. So to help us, the first conditional criteria we always want to focus on will be power. Power has two parts. One is force, one is velocity. Okay, without these two, power will not be in place. So earlier, this is what we mentioned. So this is what it means. We have what we call a force velocity curve. Okay, these two will interact. Anything from 100% to about 70%, look at the force side. Okay, this is what we call F max, or basically force max. And earlier you mentioned, remember, Mr. Parvez said there's two parts for strength. One is hypertrophy, the other one will be intramuscular coordination, the neuromuscular activation. So these are the two differences. What happens in hypertrophy? Anybody want to try? What happens in hypertrophy?
Increase the muscle mass.
Increase in muscle mass. Okay, anything else can happen. Muscle mass happens in two layers or from a fiber level. Correct? Okay, anything else can happen in hypertrophy. Nothing much. It's just making the muscle bigger and stronger. Okay, when do I use it? You want to use it for an athlete who is going through probably in his late 23, 24 years old. Will I use it? No or yes? It's a very trick question. Don't worry, I'll work with you on a trick question. No or yes?
Depends.
Depends. Okay, good. What depends on what?
Athlete, अगर आ रहा है उसमें तो फिर नहीं
English. Sorry. Can somebody translate for me? I don't mind.
If an athlete is coming at that age of time,
Okay.
then we will use hypertrophy.
Okay. So again, the trick is when an athlete comes to you, you need to do what we call a background check. Was there any past injuries? Is there any other form of imbalance? Then, but if the athlete doesn't require hypertrophy, the importance of hypertrophy drops. The importance of intramuscular coordination increases. Because I want to be more powerful. What must I need to become big? Because we no longer have that big being more powerful, okay, not for throwers, but I'm talking about in general. That's where it is important. So as you doing a program, you must understand what is this exercise done or you will do. Is this important for my athlete at this time? If it's not important, then I don't do it.
So we can start directly maximum strength instead of height.
So most of the times, when I do my RM, I think it's about now about 26. Later I'll show you the photos. We straight away go and we always walk around straight away. I don't do hypertrophy anymore. Unless, okay, right now he's injured, I need to bring him back because the muscle density is dropped. So I have to do hypertrophy, no choice. Because the muscle has to grow back again. So again, it has to be, what is it used for? Is it useful for me now? To prepare my athlete for the competitions I want. Very important question. Okay? Then, within power index, we are given a range between 30 to 70. Okay? Again, we look from it from a shift between where now I'm trying to move the weight a little bit more faster. So at a higher end, I'm looking at more like what we call it as strength speed, because the strength is still quite heavy, so it's predominant. Okay, but as I'm coming down, the strength drops, so I can do a speed strength. Okay, and then finally, I'm moving into event data. This is where your sledge run comes. Okay, you're throwing with the heavy or light equipments. You come here. Okay, so these are things that you are transferring. Okay, so this is how I'll read the card in terms of exposure. So this is just to give you an idea, okay, between the different focus points. Of that formula. Okay, so that's why my eccentric loading, my lifting, all will be quite high up because I'm focusing on the mass part of that force formula. Okay, and it's also called what we call a low speed strength exercises can use. Okay, what is the purpose? So again, increase of muscle mass, subjective, do I need or don't need? But my main focus will be more of the tendon strength. Remember earlier we talked about that the guy was trying to hold a tree. So this is why the tendon strength is important. Then we move to the speed aspect of it. You start seeing there's a shift towards the acceleration part of the formula. Okay? And this is what it means. It has the transfer abilities. All exercise we do, okay, at this stage, you need to focus on where is it transferring into or going forward. Ultimately, you should go towards our competition. Every exercise you're making, it builds a base and then it transfers. It builds power, it transfers. You build event specifics, it transfers. So that is how our exercise will always be identified and used or grouped. Okay? Question on this? Transition. Okay, this one we've covered. Okay, so I will not touch on this more. Please always remember the word is here, skill competence. Strength is also a skill. Knowing how to throw a ball, land, is all the skill sets. You need to teach them. Lifting is a skill. Before I can low. So that's why it means by low to high. Competency. Competence means can an athlete do it very well. Okay, the higher competency, I can start introducing this. Low, then I go back. Okay, based on the adaptations. Yeah. Okay, this is just to show you if adaptation is wrong, imbalance, there can be a strain in the tendons. Okay, so we want to ensure that we don't want to stretch the tendon to the extent that it becomes strained because it's not conditioned. Okay, so how do we do tendon strength? Okay, this one really will be good if you can use dynamometers, those measured ones. But if you cannot, basics is if you do a single, I'll call it sit down. So if I'm doing a leg extension as an example, contraction, 3 seconds relax. 3 second contraction, 3 seconds relax. Okay, you do that 5 sets of 4 repetitions with about 2 minutes recovery. And you can do 3 to 4 times a week for up to about 12 weeks. Okay, and this is always going to be part of your, which age group can I do this? The younger age group. Those who are now in probably 15 to 18 years old. You can start introducing this. Okay. Next, we focus on what we call dynamic coupling. Okay, and muscle coordination. Okay, the word coupling means what? Couple. What's couple, right? Together. Male and female together, man and man together, okay, man and animal together, coupling. Okay? So dynamic coupling means what are things that's going to be grouped together. Okay? In that, we have joint synchronization. The movement of the joint must be synchronized. Okay? Next, elastic energy utilization. Elastic energy is what? What is elastic energy? Rubber. Okay? Utilization means making use of it. Okay? How well can I use this elastic energy? Then sequential force transfer
From what to
from bottom to up. Remember?
Short
Knee
put.
joint,
Yeah.
ankle joint, knee joint, hip joint, shoulder joint, elbow, wrist, and then the equipment. So transfer, force transfer. So these are coupled energy. Direction of force, application,
horizontal or
horizontal,
vertical.
vertical, directional. So because of that. And then energy leakage control. What do you mean by energy leakage? Energy leakage means in some way when I'm doing a force, okay, when I'm running, am I going to run this way? No, my hip is going to do this. My shoulder is going to do this. And I'm controlling. So what? We got intramuscular coordination. I mean within the muscle, how they talk to each other. How they talk to muscle. Agonist, antagonist balance, quadriceps versus hamstring. Okay. Stabilization contributor. Okay. Stabilizers are muscles that will work. Our body is layered. The muscle that's closest to our spine or our bone are actually slow twitch muscles. They have to work very long hours. So they have to keep me upright now. Imagine if it's a fast twitch muscle. Every 5 minutes I drink this, I will collapse. Because the muscle cannot hold. Pardon? Repeat again. Okay. Muscles that is closest to our bone are usually slow twitch muscles. Because they have to do things slowly for a long time. They have to hold my posture upright. If it happens to be a fast twitch muscle, I will lose energy fast because it has to work very fast. And our muscles will be layered. There will be one, we call it the global stabilizer. Then there's a local stabilizer, and then we call it the mobilizers. The muscle that you see outside, okay, will be stabilizers. That's why if you see people do the plank world record, you don't know how many days they did planking. 8 hours. 5 days.
No.
Went for 5 days. As the athlete gets tired, okay, can he still maintain the coordination? Because the moment he cannot, everything also collapses. Okay, so these are the two main areas that you will always focus in your strength skill conditioning. Example, this is a study done by World Athletics some time back, the highest risk during championships. Okay, you see those numbers, it's very big. These are the very high issues or problems that came up. So for men, the thighs used to be up to 20 to 33% muscle problems or injuries. Women, same. So there's no difference. You cannot say that man is stronger, woman is weaker. No. Both have the same injury patterns. Okay? So part of our need is to minimize all these things. So that the athlete doesn't get injured at the coordination work. I don't believe in stable, but I still do rephrasing. I still do conventional lifts, but I will also believe a lot more on coordinative lifts. Because my athlete, when they move, they're not going to have a very stable weight. The body is changing, the movement changes, condition changes. So we want to make that difference. So the first one, the athlete doing overhead. Again, this athlete is almost now 20, when he's doing this was 24, 25 years old. He's actually a para-athlete. He has intellectual impairment, so I've been working with him for some time. So it was part of my way later in the afternoon today. Okay, so we will have that experience as well. And then of course, some coordination exercises to transfer those techniques. Anyone not clear? It is actually stored in our information hub, which is our brain. and your central nervous system. Message from your brain transmit the info through central nervous system, it goes through, and then your body moves, then it becomes a target movement. To do that, okay, what happens? Let's look at a volleyball player. How many of you play volleyball? Most of you are okay, good. Ball touch the floor, my team loses, so there's a drive. And then I know that I need to get to that spot quickly. Orientation. Okay? Then I must decide whether to use my head, use my leg, or hand. Then move on. I decide to use my hand and execute, and then so in this process, how fast does it take? Meaning microseconds, for speed of a second. It happens. And how is it possible? CNS one? Okay, so we'll keep the thought. So CNS one, anything else? Spinal cord, okay. So all these information are. So this is what happens. Emotional level, decision making, cognition level, and then finally sensory. Because all these will play a part in how they perform a performance movement is coordinated. So this is how you will always look at movement. Okay, so remember our brain, CNS processing, they got all this happening. We have to regulate our physiological, biochemistry process, anticipation control, thought processing, inner outer information, all these are happening. Okay? And on top of that, it also has what? It has to help us to move from unconscious incompetent. What's unconscious incompetent means? I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do this. Okay? So unconscious incompetence. Then I teach the person something. So it goes from unconscious incompetent to conscious incompetent. I know how to do, but I'm not good at it. Then by practicing, you become, I know how to do it, I can do it well. Conscious competent. Then comes the last one, unconscious competent. You want to throw a ball at you right now. What can you do? What will you do? You want to take a ball, it becomes a design movement stored in our brain. So at the moment I need to make a decision, the body knows exactly what to do. Because it's been practiced, it's been rehearsed, and it's been perfected. Okay? So that's how conscious movement works. Okay, let's do a short coordination exercise. Okay, everybody put a number 3 here. Everybody put a number 2 here. Okay, I'm struggling, I couldn't coordinate. Okay, so it's very important, coordination, even a finger movement happens. One of the best ways to train the brain is all this, we talk about it, functional movements, Mr. Parveen mentioned, abilities, transfers to functional movements where you strength, efficiency increase, and then I can be able to transfer for sports specifics. Okay? Okay, this we have seen before. Okay, so I will not touch more. Yes. So coordination, to stop deeper a little bit, we go into 2 parts. One is what we call coordinative skills. 2, this is what we call motor control skill adaptive. Motor control, in our term, we call it close skills. What are the close skills in our sports? In our event?
Individual event close skill.
No, what is close skills in our sports athletics? What is considered close skills?
Like running,
Hammer throw, okay, anything else? Javelin throw, long jump, everything. Okay? Open skills, adaptive skills, which one? Team sports, in track and field? People chase, middle distance running, with the tactic changes. So open skills. Team relations, voila. So again, you need to know what are they. Then we need to find the conditions to apply them. Okay, why? Because you're looking for information requirement for motor pressure conditions. So first, let me touch on the skills. Okay, unfortunately, the video doesn't play, but it's table tennis game. So for open skills, closed skills, okay, there is movement coupling, we talked about it. Kinesthetic difference. What is kinesthetic difference?
Same.
Kinesthetic joint differences. Okay, knowing what's different. Body balance. Okay, balance your own foot and all that. Spatial awareness or spatial orientation. Aware of what is around you. Okay. Rhythm sense. Okay, these are all skill sets. And then optimal reaction and situational awareness, adjustment. For us, not really a lot of situational, but in team sport or when I'm playing in a closed arena, noise from them, I have to adjust with. Okay? So again here, this for closed skills, these are predominant. For open skills. Okay. Kinetic differentiation means when something coming towards you, okay, if the ball is coming towards you, you should be able to gauge at what speed is coming. In different areas, you have that a lot, right? The ball touches, they need to get into level to strike back. So, be able to see the speed they're coming. And kinesthetically, we're talking about all the different senses that we have in our body. So, you're able to differentiate. That's why you know that when you move your joints, after a certain part, your body doesn't allow you to move. Why? There will be a quick reflex coming back of the kinesthetic part. Okay, so there is one. Now I'm going to apply in conditions. For us, how do we take in information? How does the brain come? Eyes. Anything else? Ears. Smell. Nose. Senses. Which one? Touch. Very good. But in sports, okay, we have optics, eyes, acoustic, ears, tactile. Okay, if I'm jostling people when I'm running, kinesthetic, joint related message, and then of course vestibular, your inner ear, inner balance. So our body will receive information from the brain through all these five senses. Balance requirement means basically, is it flat ground, unstable ground, one leg support, two leg support. So while I'm doing this, information is coming, there's a lot of things that will be disturbed. And then I apply to our conditions. We have precision pressure, how exactly must I do it? Timing, rhythm, complexity, so we might have it in hurdles or in martial arts, knowing how to do a hand punch followed by a leg punch or leg kick. So that is complexity. Situational, okay, basically what's happening around me. And last one, of course, load means the physiological load. So these are the pressure conditions. Once I master that skill, I bring it into actual situation. This is how I will orientate my different parts structurally, okay, to teach what I call as coordination. We start on the top, okay, triple jump, approach, hop, step, and jump. What are the structural phase? I have run up, I have the end of a takeoff, then I have a preparation 1, preparation 2. Preparation 1 means coming down, is 1. Preparation 2 means I'm going forward. So that's the second one. Okay, so preparation 1, preparation 2. So it carries on. For each, what do I need to do? Action. I need to do acceleration, flat speed, take off and whatever. What is the component of fitness? Okay, acyclic to cyclic to acyclic again for speed, coordination, movement, stability, acyclic speed, strength, flexibility. So these are the fitness components I need to prepare for each phase. And then I'm putting in all my training contents. What do I need to do? Okay? Difference between acyclic and cyclic. Cyclic means it's continuous. Acyclic means it doesn't repeat itself afterwards. So after a certain pattern, it stops. Okay? So in terms of coordination, this is how it looks like. Where does the rhythm, differentiation, balance will fall into? Okay. And then I'm transferring it into actualization. Okay? of all these things, what is important for us, for coaches, very well. After that, what happens? I will perform the skill very well at speed. Now I'm introducing conditioning already. Then I will work very well at speed under fatigue. And then I add on under pressure as well. Fatigue is one, pressure is another. Okay? I'm tired, but I still need to perform. Okay? Then under consistency. This is what we call getting to the level of mastery. And then finally, of course, doing it at competitions consistent. So these are the 7 steps that whenever we do a program or conditioning people, we are trying to do this. Pick the skill up, condition the skill so that it can be performed. Simple to complex, easy to hard, slow to fast, unloaded to loaded. Okay, so this is basically what I'm doing. Exercises for ideal. So again, focus on anything about each aspect of it because I want to stabilize it and activities are in that concept. Okay, this one is more power related. You need to remember this. This exercise. I know that's the video of doing this. Okay? Okay, then to do a bit of coordination work.